Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am here to talk about this book today. So this video is going to be for the Page Turners book group, but it's also going to be kind of a mini review and discussion about The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. So this is a book that I have been highly anticipating since I read Everything by her last year and adored it. She is just such a great contemporary writer. She kind of falls in that like Stephanie Perkins, Sarah Dessen, very easy to read contemporary style, and sometimes you just need that. This book kind of has a unique concept where it follows two characters over the course of one day. It follows Natasha, who is going through the terrifying process of being deported that night to her family's home country of Jamaica, and she does not want to go. Her life has always been in the States and she just wants to stay because that's where her friends are, that's where her life is. So it's kind of her going to like an attorney and going to a lot of offices just to try and figure out if there's anything she can do. We also are following Daniel, who is a Korean American who is struggling with trying to follow his family's dream for him, which is not what he wants, but they want him to go to an interview at Yale so that he can be a doctor and live the American dream. Meanwhile, he's just kind of like a hopeless romantic type character and just wants to be a poet for the rest of his life. So we have some like conflicting family versus protagonist plot lines that are very kind of similar but kind of not. I personally just didn't click with this story, and I think I'm somewhat alone in this. I don't know, I just had really high expectations going into this, and I didn't think it was bad. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed both the characters and how kind of complex their lives are and how much you can learn about them in a 24-hour time span, but I just didn't connect with them like I normally do in contemporary, and I wanted to. I really liked Natasha. She was very feisty and snarky and real about how hard life can be, which is kind of refreshing to read in a contemporary and YA. And I really liked Daniel. I just personally couldn't relate to either of the characters too much. And also, I know a lot of people are throwing this book in the face of people who don't believe in insta-love in YA, as an example of the fact that it can be done and it can be done well. I still don't think so. I still think that it was very insta-lovey and it was not necessarily believable. This may just be the pessimist in me. I feel like I'm just very negative right now. But I just personally didn't think that their entire situation was that believable. And maybe that's just because I personally live in an area where it's very hard to meet people face to face in the real world and have a connection with them immediately. And this book just kind of has that. Maybe that happens more in city life and I live in the country, but I just feel like it wasn't very plausible in this day and age. And now I feel like a 40-year-old woman who needs to take my kids to soccer. Did anyone else feel that way about this though? I enjoyed it. It was very fun to read. I read it in about a day. While I wasn't super attached to the characters, I was still rooting for them and I still was hopeful by the end. And I just think their families were well-rounded. What did you guys think? Did you like Natasha better or did you like Daniel better? Did you think they were believable characters? Or were they just kind of like YA contemporary type characters? So what's your take on insta-love? Sometimes I just really like it, sometimes it just works and it's all that you really want in a story and you're just on board for it, and I feel like other times it's very forced. This one seemed kind of forced to me. I don't know. So what did you guys think about the heavy subject matter? While this was still a light and fluffy story, it definitely dealt with a lot of cultural diversity and a lot of the darker side of living in America and the American dream per se. I just kind of liked that it mixed both the light and the dark of kind of modern day in America very well. So those are kind of my overall thoughts. I will be talking with you guys in the comments on the Goodreads page, which I will leave linked down below. I also wanted to bring up the idea of making a Facebook group because I feel like I am lacking on the Goodreads page. I try to keep up with it, but I don't get notifications as quickly as I think I should be getting them when you guys post on there. And I am obviously very active on Facebook because hello, it's 2017 now. Everybody's on Facebook. And I feel like a lot of the group chats that I belong to are a lot more active and a lot more friendly. So what are your thoughts on me making a Facebook group and adding it to this group? So for the month of February, I already have the poll going on the Goodreads group, which you can go and vote for what book you want to read for the next month, but these are the choices that I picked, and I did indeed cater them to Valentine's Day. I apologize for that. But I kept it both fluffy and lovey-dovey and kind of hardcore dark romance. So I think it was a fairly good mixture. So if you want to pick from one of these, or if you want to write in your own option, that is always a choice. But the first book that I have is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. I'm pretty sure we all know and have probably read this series by now, but I have not, so I'm throwing it in there. I also have The Girl That Fell by S.M. Parker. This is a darker YA contemporary about a girl who fell really, really hard for a guy in high school and pretty much gave up her own self and identity because of this hardcore infatuation she has, and when he kind of starts to not be what he seems, she realizes how much she lost of herself, and it gets really dark. Next book is Tiny Pretty Things by Danielle Clayton and Sona. I don't know how to say that. I will leave it linked down below. It'll be on the Goodreads page. No clue how to say their names. But this is not necessarily a romance. It's more of like a female empowerment, female drama type of story, but it takes place in a really prestigious ballet academy, and there's some backstabbing and there's some romance, and it just sounds like a great, great story. And for those of us who really just want to get into the Valentine's Day light, fluffy contemporary, I have P.S. I Like You by Casey West. This is a book that I've been dying to get to. It just sounds adorable. It's a very cliche YA contemporary high school romance that I can get down with for Valentine's Day. Those are the 4 choices that I have picked out for the month of February. You can vote on the Goodreads page, or you can just leave suggestions in the comments of this video. I look forward to talking to all of you guys in the comments and on the Goodreads page, and leave some feedback. Let me know what you guys are thinking of this. I hope you guys enjoyed reading this book. I hope you're reading some amazing books currently, and I'll see you in my next video.